Karl Jobst is a professional gamer and YouTuber. Originally, he was a top speedrunner for the beloved Nintendo 64 game GoldenEye 007, and he was once the best at Perfect Dark. He also had other ventures, like being a pickup artist, trying to help guys who struggle to get a girlfriend.
Hey guys, it's Karl here. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate a simple and easy approach you can do if you're looking to overcome your fear of approaching women.
But ultimately, Karl found success doing YouTube videos about the video game landscape. A lot of these videos focus on trauma within the space, such as speedrunners and competitors cheating at their games. This was his bread and butter, and it was perfect for him. Karl had respect in the scene as a competitor, and he was seemingly taking down people who were poisoning the scene by doing things like cheating. Unlike these individuals, trying to grift the space by being dishonest, Karl played games, was successful, and called people out. He was beloved by figureheads and the audience alike. And to a lot of people, he was seemingly looking out for everyone in the space he was also a part of. Karl's channel is insanely popular. It sits at over 1 million subscribers, receiving millions of views, including one singular video that has over 19 million. But as of late, Karl has been losing a lot of respect. After years of creating videos about gaming champion Billy Mitchell, who he alleged was a Donkey Kong fraudster, amongst other things, Karl lost a defamation suit against him, now being ordered to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages to the crown. Billy Mitchell, also the King of Kong, or Video Game Player of the Century, an actual title he was given, is a professional gamer and restaurant owner. Born in the great state of Massachusetts, he now resides in the Sunshine State of Florida, with his family running a series of Ricky restaurants and selling sauces. Billy was at the birth of competitive gaming, being featured in Life magazine all the way back in 1982, alongside other gaming champions. He was gonna go on tour at one point in the 80s to showcase his pro gaming skills until the tour fell through. I think it's fair to say Billy made professional gaming more mainstream, because Billy wasn't just a guy who played video games amazingly. He was also a character. He had long hair and would dress up in a suit with an American tie to play popular arcade games everyone knows. He was very cocky, and his playing abilities backed it up. He is the first well-documented person to apparently beat Pac-Man in 1999. You see, at a certain level and score, the game just breaks on you. And Billy being the first apparent person to do it was a big story. It was covered in a short video documentary by Great Big Story that now has nearly 40 million views. The video portrays Billy at his best in my opinion. Everything I just described about him is contained within this video perfectly. He speaks about how he was crowned Video Game Player of the Century.
So in 1999, I sent out a press release. I was as cocky as could be. They said, there's been 10 billion games played. How are you going to do it? I says, because I'm Billy Mitchell.
It occurred when he sent the creators of Pac-Man the split-screen game break. They had never seen it before and gave him the title. But as they say, heavy is the head that bears the crown, and there would be people to try and take it from him. Twin Galaxies is the official supplier of video game high scores to the Guinness Book of World Records. They keep and verify things and add them to their database. Normally, no one would care about an organization like this. It seems pretty uninteresting. That was, until they claimed some of Billy's scores were illegitimate. There's a lot of allegations against Billy for cheating, but just to keep it brief for this video, they claimed Billy did not obtain the scores on original hardware, rather on an emulator. Because of Twin Galaxies doing this, he was stripped of his world records by Guinness. Billy was put in a position where he would have to sue to protect his titles. Within the multiple lawsuits he filed around this time, Billy would get his way. Guinness gave him back his titles, and Twin Galaxies re-added his scores to their website. Another one of these lawsuits was against YouTuber Apollo Legend. The settlement required the creator to take down his videos about Billy and to stop talking about him. There was no money exchanged. Sadly, Apollo Legend would take his life around this time, which led to a top critic of Billy, Karl Jobst, accusing him of causing his suicide. He made some extremely serious allegations, and like many other times, some successful, some not, Billy decided to sue. Karl has made video after video about Billy, accusing him of things like cheating, and Karl was originally really confident in winning against him in court.
And also, like, the last person on YouTube you want to lose to is me. Yeah. You know there's going to be 100 vids rubbing it in afterwards. Like, Billy will never, I will never let Billy forget this. Assuming I win.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I gotta win first, but man, if I win, oh boy, I'm not gonna be a good winner. I'm not gonna be a good winner.
Oh no, dude.
In the May 2024 video, I'm finally going to trial against Billy Mitchell, Karl makes it extremely clear he thinks he's going to win, and that he's well aware that unlike in America, if he loses, he will be ordered to pay for Billy's legal fees, as that's how Australia's legal system tends to work, from my understanding, according to Karl. He wrote in the pinned comment of his video, "Billy's going down." Although, as the case progressed, Karl's stance was starting to change.
Even though many people who've read about my trial say they think I will win, I am keeping myself very humble. For my own mental health, I have already accepted the worst case scenario. I am already psychologically prepared to lose. I think the worst thing that could happen is I get my hopes up, think I'm definitely going to win, and then end up losing.
Leading up to the judge's decision on who was in the right and wrong, Karl released a video claiming Billy was lying at trial. Karl said that the trial all rested on whether or not the judge believed Billy.
During trial, Billy lied a lot, and ultimately what this will come down to is whether or not the judge believes anything Billy says. I think we made it pretty clear that Billy is a liar, but we're obviously biased, so who knows what the judge is thinking.
And all that confidence from before was gone, with Karl even saying he was already mentally prepared for the worst outcome. And I'm sure everyone watching this knows what happened. Karl lost, and Billy, the King of Kong, won. According to Billy, Karl wept at the courthouse. When I asked him to clarify if he was joking or being serious, Billy said he was being serious. Now, there was a misunderstanding amongst the general public about the true nature of what this lawsuit was about. Considering Karl was always titling his videos things like Cheater Billy Mitchell, and with the news media also falsely reporting on the nature of the lawsuit, many thought it was about the claims of Billy cheating, but it wasn't. It was about Karl's false claims regarding Billy and YouTuber Apollo Legend. In an article by The Guardian, the judge found Karl had made 5 false claims regarding Mitchell, including claiming Apollo was forced to pay Billy money for their lawsuit. According to IGN, Karl said it was $1 million and contributed to his suicide. Although, as I said earlier, Apollo paid Billy nothing. But I'm sure world-renowned journalist Karl Jobst has an explanation for this.
Even though this claim did turn out to be false, I believed it to be true at the time. I had been personally told there was a cash settlement, which numerous others said they were told as well, and this was also stated by multiple Reddit users, with one of them even claiming to have spoken with Apollo directly. Obviously, a Reddit post isn't usually very credible, but this person made these comments and was talking about the settlement before the settlement was even public, which implied to me that they knew what they were talking about and it was trustworthy. And the idea that Apollo Legend may have paid Billy Mitchell a large sum of money was already out in the public.
Karl said he got this information from a baseless Reddit post with no traction. No, I am not kidding. He tried getting around this by saying he made a correction afterwards. But honestly, the correction to me kinda sucks. Ignoring the fact it's in a video not even about Billy.
Now, before I finish the video, I would like to take this opportunity to correct something that I said in a previous video. Back in May, I talked about the new lawsuits filed by Todd Rogers and Billy Mitchell. In that video, I made the claim that Apollo Legend paid money to Billy Mitchell as part of their settlement. I would never make such a claim unless I had very good evidence to support my position. In response to this, Billy Mitchell released a video accusing me of lying and claimed that no money was exchanged. He didn't provide any evidence to back up this claim, nor did he attempt to get in contact with me to clear up any misinformation I may have had.
Karl! I don't know if you know this, but you're the journalist. It's your job. Dude, he doesn't have to reach out to you. You're supposed to reach out to him. What? I just realized there's an editing, bro. What the fuck?
However, I did investigate further as I would never want to provide false information to my viewers. I reached out to a member of Apollo's family who graciously agreed to clarify some details. According to them, despite Mitchell's best efforts, Apollo Legend would not pay any money, and in the final version of the settlement, there was no clause indicating that he was required to do so. Therefore, the statement I made in that video was almost certainly incorrect. I sincerely apologize for providing false information, and no matter what kind of relationship I have with Mitchell, I do not believe that it is ever justified to lie or mislead.
Karl said he would never make a claim without good evidence, but again, his evidence is a baseless Reddit post. Thankfully, Karl now agrees with me, as stated in his recent video about his loss.
My standard of evidence has changed dramatically since I made this original claim, so of course, now I disagree with my statement that I had very good evidence. But I was just trying to say that I didn't just make this up out of nowhere.
Because of things like this, and the fact that Karl wasn't reaching out to Billy to get his side, the judge said Karl was reckless and crowned Billy champion of the courtroom that day. The judge also didn't like how Karl portrayed himself as a hero and Mitchell as a villain, saying he was crusading against Mitchell, which I fully agree with. Karl didn't just make 1 or 2 videos about Billy, he made video after video after video. And even if you think Billy is a cheater, is it really justified to make this many videos which also contain false information? And even when Karl does try to make up for those false claims, he's dishonest about it. But again, I'll give him some credit. Following the lawsuit, he even called himself out for that. But I think there's another situation he also mishandled. Oh boy, we're getting into hot take territory. Over a year ago, I made a docu-essay about a major scandal involving Jirard The Completionist. Karl Jobst and Mudahar of Some Ordinary Gamers did an investigation, and they alleged Jirard and his family were charity fraudsters. The reason being his family's foundation, the Open Hand, had received hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations, yet had apparently never donated a single cent of it. My coverage on the situation was pretty well received, but my second channel follow-up where I responded to criticisms was not. I think this is mainly because I felt, and still feel, that their reporting on the situation was not handled with the care it deserved. In the thumbnail for one of the videos by Karl on the situation, it contains the words fraud, theft, and lies. Now, I don't think it's completely irrational to call Jirard a liar and a fraudster. There's statements of Jirard saying where the money would be going, naming exact organizations, and ultimately all the money ended up going to a single organization. But I personally wouldn't call him these things. I would more so just say he and the foundation were just being incompetent. People lie to gain something, and he doesn't personally gain anything. It's a charity. The money goes to dementia research, and it did. In fact, this whole charity scandal ruined his career in a lot of ways. He had to let employees go over it. There is no hard proof Jirard stole the money. And he spent the money on himself. Got himself a nice sports car, the thing people who steal large sums of money tend to do. The main argument that Jirard is a thief is in regards to things like Twitch subs. Jirard did say on stream at points that these would be going to the foundation.
As a reminder, all bits and subs, including Amazon Primes, go towards the charity as well. So it's all a pass-through, all going for a good cause.
However, the investigation videos claimed the money didn't. Jirard responded in a video, saying the money went into offsetting production costs for running the events, which is a thing a lot of charities do. If you want a big event, you gotta spend money for the big event.
Adding the $15,000 sponsorship donation to the initial estimate income for Indieland 2023 equates to $76,303.33. This does not include merchandise, bits, or subscriptions from Twitch. However, there were real production costs when it comes to running this event. We paid for flights, hotels, appearance fees, supplies, food and catering, costs of goods for merchandise, etc. All of that totaled just under $12,000. This is still an outstanding invoice as not everything has been received or paid yet. Income from Twitch subscriptions and bits, along with merchandise, have offset some of the production costs. So to say the money is missing is simply wrong. Also, to be clear, Indieland does not make money on YouTube. We typically stream only on Twitch, and when we did simulcast to YouTube, we made little to no money.
And as of now, there's no way to disprove this unless the authorities look into him and find otherwise. Related to this was the allegations of forgery. Karl in his first video raised an issue with how the filings didn't contain a signature.
These filings don't seem to be done properly, and they aren't even signed, which is definitely a legal requirement.
According to Jirard, this is because they e-filed them.
The foundation files all their taxes electronically, which does not require a physical signature on the actual forms. Only e-file authorization forms that are sent from a certified public accountant for electronic signature. Not only is this legal, but it is the industry standard for filing taxes here in the United States. The audit letter is linked down below. That both the foundation and I have been accused of forgery, embezzlement, and charity fraud. The allegations implied the foundation forged tax returns because they weren't physical signatures on them when we e-filed them.
With all of this being said, there was one thing I did get wrong. I said the tax filings weren't signed. It pains me to say this, but I was incorrect. The forms were signed. This was a throwaway line that was poorly researched, and I shouldn't have said it. It meant nothing, it affected nothing, and I based none of my claims on this fact. Still, I owe everyone, and especially Jirard, an apology. So Jirard, from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry that when discussing your multiple examples of committing charity fraud, I said the open-hand tax filings weren't signed.
Jirard was very confident in his video, claiming he isn't afraid of an audit, saying he welcomed it.
Furthermore, my family and I are in serious conversations with our legal teams regarding next steps, as the allegations that have been made with complete disregard for the truth of the matter. These allegations were made by individuals who self-admittedly aren't even financial or legal professionals. These allegations are slanderous, and we believe were done with selfish intent. They have directly jeopardized the safety of me, my staff, and my family, and that is not okay. We can account for every single dollar received and spent in the last 9 years. We do not have anything to hide. And due to the overwhelming amount of people who have been instructed to file complaints to the IRS and Department of Justice, we understand an audit may be coming, and we welcome it. Our legal and financial teams have assured us that we have done nothing criminally wrong or illegal. Any possible issues in our paperwork can only be described as clerical errors and are easily amendable.
But here's the thing, when you're making videos about charity fraud, and the headlines and thumbnails are basically telling me all of the money is missing, it feels very dishonest, and it honestly sours the coverage. Something a lot of people don't know is if a video gets a couple 100,000 views, that means the title and thumbnail has appeared millions of times across the YouTube website. Millions of people have seen Jirard's face next to charity fraud, money is gone, thief, when that really isn't accurate at all. I mean, yeah, the money's gone into an organization's account to help fight dementia. Because after Karl and Mudahar's videos came out, the Open Hand donated hundreds of thousands of dollars. The money was just sitting in a bank account, just like Jirard told them in an interview before the videos came out. As again, the money wasn't missing or stolen, as some of the thumbnails suggest. Don't get me wrong, the foundation was definitely grossly mishandled, and we should be critical about it. But we should also be critical of bad journalism. Being dishonest in like your thumbnails and your headlines about what happens because you want to make the story sound more interesting is worth criticizing. Some people might think this is nitpicking, but I don't think so at all. This isn't me nitpicking a single portion of one of their videos about something minor. This is an issue with how they presented the story to the public. In a now deleted post on X, Billy himself says Jirard should sue Karl, believing he would win. Oh man, bro, Billy has been going crazy on Twitter, man. Like I just said, it's totally fair to criticize the Open Hand Foundation on certain things, like withholding the money for so long. But also, there was just this really unprofessional side of the investigation, where they were making extremely bold claims that weren't fully accurate, and it just feels like there's way too much speculation going on. If there's 100% hard evidence, of course expose that. But just because the Foundation and Jirard were in the wrong on certain things, doesn't excuse bad journalism. To me, Karl is someone who doesn't want to be held to the same exact high standards he holds other people to. But you know, when he messes up, suddenly he is no longer an investigative journalist when it comes to pushing false narratives against Billy. Well, actually, people didn't listen to him closely enough. They didn't read the exact semantics of each word. Like, listen to how he tries to weasel out of basically saying Billy is responsible for Apollo's passing.
I never said Billy caused Apollo's suicide, nor have I ever believed that. No one is responsible for Apollo's decision other than Apollo. If you read my words carefully, I simply laid out a sequence of events that happened one after another. I said there was a lawsuit, Apollo settled, he was in debt, though I was incorrect about the cause of the debt, he needed extra work, and he had ongoing health issues. Then I said this was all too much of a burden, and he ultimately took his own life. I deliberately used words like and but to connect these events. I didn't use words like because or as a result of. I was also very careful to mention Apollo's pre-existing health issues as a major factor. When I said this was all too much, I was clearly referring to multiple things together. The debt, the extra work, and his health issues, all simply as existing, not as causative factors. I never stated that Mitchell's lawsuit caused or could have caused Apollo's death. Any connection someone might draw between the lawsuit and Apollo's passing goes beyond what I actually said. I was extremely careful, though obviously not careful enough, not to make that claim, because I know the difference between describing a sequence of events and assigning blame for a tragedy. I did, however, get one statement of fact wrong. And trust me, I learned that lesson immediately.
And when he has to admit he was wrong, he has repeatedly done so in very inauthentic ways. Whether that's pretending the false claim he pushed came from a quality source, when it didn't at all, or trying to undermine how serious of an allegation he made incorrectly is, while correcting it as backhandedly as possible. I think an issue he has is in an effort to make as much money as possible, it leads to him churning out videos as fast as he can, which, when you're doing investigation type content, it leads to these videos containing flaws, such as contradicting himself weeks apart.
For the past 10 years, they have raised over $600,000, and it's all just sitting in their bank account. Their yearly filings have all shown the same behavior. For example, in 2022, they received $117,000 in contributions. They paid $11,000 in expenses, leaving them with $106,000 in excess revenue. This cash was then added to their existing stockpile of cash, which now totals $655,000, and the cash is just left in their account. We have had no confirmation the money still exists.
Or flaws so big you lose a huge court case over it. I also just don't like this because he tries to grift the situation he gets involved with so much, making endless videos on the same person. It makes it feel like a crusade, as that judge said. But at the end of the day, Karl is just another guy online. And while he may not have cheating allegations like Billy, or a scandal mishandling charity money like Jirard, he is still a flawed person like all of us are. Karl has since gone back to posting like usual, and Billy has been taking quite the victory lap online, promoting his hot sauce with the code KarlLost. Get it? Because he lost the lawsuit and it rhymes. I'm interested to see where both of them go from here on out, and despite my criticisms of Karl, I wish both of them the best. While making this video, alleged Discord leaks on Billy's X account showcase Karl acting in a bad light. While some of this is rather uninteresting and silly, like him talking about all of the adult content he enjoys, some of it showcases Karl dreaming about him making Billy go bankrupt, talking about what items he would take, like Billy's car. He also spoke about things like contacting his YouTube partner to try and get content taken down that's discussing him negatively, specifically claiming a YouTuber is lying about him and its harassment. The most serious thing to come out of these post-lawsuit loss developments, in my opinion, comes from a YouTube drama post, which was also shared by Billy. Karl boasts about moving assets to his wife before declaring bankruptcy, and the post also refers to this as a possible creditor defeating scheme. Now, I don't know if this is true, it's just an allegation. The post also contains Discord screenshots of allegedly Karl. I'm not going to read them here as there's a lot, but I'll put them on screen as it is news related to this topic. I suspect this Karl-Billy drama isn't going to end anytime soon, so make sure to follow me on X at UnwellMiguel for updates. I plan to keep covering this and maybe even on a stream. Until next time, God bless.